Paul Miles in Denver, your involvement in Ireland, your journey, so to speak, took you to writing some beautiful lyrics and beautiful music. When did the journey begin for you?
I think the journey began for me with regarding of learning in social issues. And my grandmother was a freedom writer, and she was at the with Dr. Martin Luther King's speech in Washington D.C. She was writing. She was one of the freedom writers writing the buses, and they used to take buses of people down south, and they would be, during the times of voters registration and all those other kind of things there. So it started with my grandmother, who was going to these events, which was about people's rights and freedom and justice. That was kind of embedded in me,
Yeah.
even as a young man, about those things. And the Dr. Martin Luther King speech, I Have a Dream, that was back in 1963. So we're talking about that time. At that time,
Yeah.
I was 11 years old.
Dare I say to you, it's a long way from Louisiana to the troubles of Northern Ireland.
Yes, but I think we have a common thread, and that thread is humanity. And humanity is a unifying thing that we have when we take a look at in terms of people fighting for their freedom and their dignity and those kinds of things. So that's the common thread with regarding of that, with regarding of people and acknowledging those kinds of fights of the spirit in terms of standing up for what people thinking is right.
Your work, your song in tribute to the memorial, the Lenin Memorial, prioritizes people, obviously, and it says things like, remember me. It's a question of not forgetting once those who have been and taken away from us in violent circumstances very often, once they've gone, we should remember them.
I agree with you totally, and I think with regarding of seeing the physicality of what was being done with regarding with the people's names in the Lenin, those are just kind of very, for me, precious ways to remember people, having their names done in a very artistic kind of fashion to where it makes you stand up and being very, very proud of the people who did things that allow you to do what you're doing today. No, we should not forget them, and that was kind of the song, Don't Forget About Us.
Paul,
it's very, very direct.
Paul, when did you first encounter the Lenin Memorial and Licia Troughton?
This was a number of years ago. She had contacted me. I think she in the city of Detroit in terms of her travels in Detroit. Since the year 2000, I had lived formerly in California. I had the Lenin Memorial in passing in my there was an article or something that I had seen that had caught my eye, and when I read what was being done, it just kind of touched me. I said, "Wow!" And it was kind of a shoot off of back in California. They had the AIDS blanket where they were doing tribute to those people who had died from AIDS in a blanket display that was going on at that time. I think it was in San Diego. And we're talking about, I'm trying to think, probably the late 80s, early 90s. And when I saw that, kind of reminded me of that, but it kind of went a little bit further where it was really dealing with people who would put their lives on the line and had lost their lives in the battle for justice. And that just really kind of touched me. And then I'd contacted her, and then it got to be where I was able to, submit, some music, and I had just made a recommendation. I said, hey, here's something that was inspired by me, and went ahead and sent her something, and then she said, wow, this is nice. And I said, well, thank you very, very much. But that's what it taught me with regarding of seeing what she was doing, and even though it was in Ireland, there was still that connection that I was able to get, because we're talking about something here that was going as a tribute for people from the 1968 to 98, over a 30-year period of time, about the war and the strive, something where you've got well over 3,000 people who've put their lives on the absolute line on doing something here. I just thought it was for me, it's very, very touching,
Okay.
very, very emotional.
Paul,
And that's where I got inspired.
Paul, thank you very much for talking to us. It's a long distance we're on, and the line has held up wonderfully for us. Thank you very, very much indeed, sir.
You're very much welcome. And thank you so much for calling here, and then the best wishes to you and your guests.
God bless you.
Thank you.